Larry tried to kill me.
Yeah. I was so thoroughly disgusted.
I mean, think about it. Why does it make you special to do what you do?
Packers jumping around. They rush forward. Plenty of time for John. Now squeezes, steps up in the pocket. Elliott can run inside the 10. Head first. He dives off the 5-yard line. My goodness.
Rushing forward, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line.
Results of Brian Clady and Bob Miller. Third and long 3. Going deep. Oh, and he's got Thomas. Goodbye. Touchdown. Here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime.
Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, I just want to welcome everybody onto the show. Unfortunately, it's the last show in the Broncos season. Now, I'm still going to come back on Fridays. Don't worry, guys. I'll still be here on Fridays. But I just wish I was bringing Broncos, playoff topics and playoff news and stuff. But unfortunately, let's hope for 2023 on that. All right, Avatar, always great to see you in the house. As always, you're one of the rock of this network, and I really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much, man. And also, I totally agree. The homage to number 88 will never get old, and it will never go away as far as I'm concerned. I love it. It's just a guy that was way gone. He's gone way too fast, way too soon. Thanks a lot, Avatar, for those sentiments. Great, appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Ray Haas? Always nice to have you in the house as well. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right, guys, let's get into the topics. I got quite a bit of them. And we're going a little bit different directions. And I do have something I haven't brought in quite some time. I'll save that. I'll save that for a little bit. Here we go. All right, recap of the Chargers-Broncos game last Sunday. Denver Broncos wrapped up their 2022 season with the best game of the season. Russell Wilson is what we expected from him from the beginning. Wilson connected with Jerry Jeudy 5 times for 154 yards and a beautiful running to his left throw, a strike of 57 yards over 2 defenders. Amazing throw. Where's that been all year? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was under Hackett. That's why. I'll get into some of that in a little bit. Is this something we can look forward to in the upcoming season? Absolutely. Under one condition, that we get a head coach that understands Russell Wilson, understands you cannot put him into a box. You cannot keep him behind center. If you do, then you're going to get the results that we had with Nathaniel Hackett. Doesn't work. You have to allow Wilson to be Wilson. Absolutely. And if you don't, well, then we're going to be 5-win season again, because it just doesn't work. You have to let the guy play at his best. I continue. Let's see. Like I mentioned, as long as we get a new head coach that understands and let Wilson be Wilson, absolutely. We saw that in the 2 games under Rosberg. Why? Because Rosberg sat back even in his own presser and said, they asked him, are you calling plays? Are you doing the special teams? What are you doing? He says, I'm managing the team. That's what a head coach is supposed to do. Manage the game. You know, like calling timeouts, throwing the challenge flag when needed. You know, whatever it is, calling a hurry-up offense, whatever. It doesn't mean play calling. It doesn't mean hands-on and not allowing your coordinators to do their job. Rosberg understood that, and he allowed his coordinators to do their job. And what was the result? 24 points against the Chiefs. We should have won that game, and I went into that last week on a rampage and a rant with those referees. And I'm not going to rehash that. You guys want to watch that, you can go back. That's all well and good. Go for it. I'd appreciate it. But moving forward, Rosberg allowed Wilson to be Wilson and allowed his coordinators to do their job. Result, like I said, 24 points against the Chiefs in the game we should have won. Against the Chargers, final score, Broncos 31, Chargers 28. And it wasn't really that close, guys. It really wasn't. Denver trailed early. Yes, they did. But they scored what I call back-to-back scores. They had the last possession in the first half, scored a touchdown. Then they got the ball to start the second half and scored a touchdown. That's a 2-for-1, man. 2-for-1. 2 touchdowns and basically 1 possession because, it's 2 possessions, but you understand what I'm saying. The Chargers didn't touch the ball for dang near, a little over an hour. So that's what I love about, having the last possession and the first possession in the second half. Denver wins that game 31-28. A great win for the Denver Broncos, obviously ending the season on a high note. That is something that makes me feel good, and it should make all Broncos country feel good for what we saw the last 2 games. It could have been worse, guys. It could have been ending on a 10-9 score under Hackett. Thank goodness that wasn't the case. All right. Because of that game, Jerry Jeudy was honored. For the first time in his career, Jerry Jeudy has been named AFC Offensive Player of the Week with his 154 yards receiving and on 5 catches. Realize that guy's just 5 catches for 154 yards, an average of 30.8 yards per catch. It was a well-deserved honor in just his 3rd season. Absolutely. Jerry Jeudy, I know he's been much maligned. A lot of people have said to me, Jerry Jeudy, maybe we should trade him. Maybe we should, bench him or whatever. He's not being productive. Well, you can see what he's done or what he did last week with Wilson just targeting every chance he could. Jerry Jeudy is the guy. He is a clutch receiver. Is he number 1 in the Broncos? Well, as of right now, I'd say yes, absolutely. And I just think it's only going to get better. When Rosberg moved Jerry Jeudy outside and let him go one-on-one instead of putting him in a slot where he's double teamed by a linebacker or a corner or a safety, he's not as productive. But Jerry Jeudy has speed. Jerry Jeudy has moves. That guy can cut on a dime and make defenders look horrible. And that's what he did against the Chargers. Now, I know people are saying, well, the Chargers probably didn't play their number one team because they already had the playoffs wrapped up. Wrong. They did play their number 1 team. They played their number 1 starters the entire first half and most of the second half until Staley said, whoa, shoot, man, we're losing some of our guys or getting nicked up. I better pull them. Well, yeah. But when the Broncos did the most of their damage was against the number 1 team of the Chargers. So that bodes well going into the 2023 season. Again, it comes down to who's the head coach and who will allow Wilson to be Wilson. Absolutely. Let me go to, this is a good point. Thanks, Avatar. I overlooked this. Jerry Jeudy was 28 yards short of breaking 1,000. That is spectacular. That is amazing. And too bad he couldn't get the 1,000 yards, because that would have been absolute, I guess, cherry on top of the ice cream or whatever. Icing on the cake, so to speak. That would have been phenomenal. But he still had a great, great season. It could have been a whole lot better if the Broncos would have been better. But that last game was absolutely standout. And congratulations to Jerry Jeudy for being named AFC Player of the Week. All right. Now we go to a retirement. Bill Collar retires. After the game last Sunday's Broncos win, Bill Collar called it a career. He is one of the best D-line coaches in the entire league. Uh-oh. That may be hard to replace. I mean, our D-line has been outstanding. Yes, we've had injuries, and I mean, that's par for the course, so to speak, in the football. But he has a great, great track record as being a wonderful D-line head coach, or not head coach, D-line coach, coordinator. So I wish him all the best. I wish he'd stay on, especially with new coaches coming in. But maybe maybe whoever we get wants to bring in their own D-line. Hopefully, they can continue in the progress and what Bill Collar has done. I really hope so. He was presented with a game ball by interim head coach Jerry Rosburg on his accomplishments in the entire his career, as well as that last couple of games. Absolutely, he well deserved. Collier retires after 37-year coaching career. Congratulations, Collier. I'm going to miss you, because our D-line has been one of the best in the NFL for so many years. And it's all thanks to you and your knowledge and your experience as being one of the best D-line coaches in the entire NFL. All right. Speaking of Jerry Rosburg, under interim head coach, this is interesting. And this is telling, guys. This is absolutely telling for what I said earlier. Rosburg letting his coordinators do what they do best and just managing the game. Here it is. Under interim head coach Rosburg, the Broncos scored 7 touchdowns in 2 games. They scored as many touchdowns in Rosburg's era, remember, just 2 games, in Rosburg's era as they did in the first 6 games under Hackett. What? In the first 6 games under Hackett, the Broncos scored 7 touchdowns. In just 2 games under Rosburg, they scored 7 touchdowns. Like I said, what does that tell you? That tells me that Hackett had no idea what he was doing, had no idea how to coach a team, and especially did not know how to handle Russell Wilson. That's an average, going back to Rosburg in those 2 games and those scores. That's an average of 27.5 points per game as opposed to 15.5 points a game under Hackett. That is huge. That's 12 points more. Now think about the losses we had, guys. We had a loss of 10-9. We had a loss of, I think it was 16-10. We had, I mean, you can go down the list of the losses in the close 1-score games that we lost. Well, 12 points is more than 1 score. So had we have had Rosburg from the beginning, things, in my opinion, would have been drastically different. And I wouldn't be sitting here telling you guys this is the last Broncos game that I'll be talking about in the 2022 season. I wouldn't. I'd be talking about a wild card playoff game, or maybe a division winning playoff game. But I certainly wouldn't be sitting here saying that we've only won 5 games. That would be absolutely not what I'd be saying. So that is huge. Again, 27.5 points a game under Rosburg, 15.5 points a game under Hackett. Holy smokes. I wish I wish Rosburg would stay. I really do. And I know that he has other interests and other business things. And I'll touch on that real quickly, in case you guys don't know. Rosburg has a partner, a business partner, and they're going into business with creating a a place where retired players or injured players who cannot pay for the medical bills or have other issues that they need to deal with, Rosberg and his business partner are going to supply those necessary resources to get these injured players or retired players or whatever that they need once they leave the NFL and they're not compensated by the NFL for whatever reason. Rosberg and his business partner, with their new business that they're creating, is going to step in and supply those necessary resources. I absolutely commend that. Absolutely commend that, because there's a lot of guys out there that are struggling. And I think it's awesome that Rosberg is part of this. I wish him all the best. I wish he'd still be with the Broncos for what he's done, but I wish him all the best in his next endeavor. Absolutely, for sure. All right, Avatar says about he wasn't the D-line coach this season. He had a different role. Okay, all right. I'll give you that. That's quite possible. But he is very, very instrumental in his coaching abilities, and for Collier to leave after 37 years is quite a career. That's awesome. Ray says that's cool. W for him and his party. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's phenomenal, Ray. I really do, that Rosberg has this endeavor to take care of those NFL players. And remember, Rosberg was a special teams coach, and he knows these guys and a lot of these players and rubs shoulders with them, like he said about the Broncos in just a short time he was there, that he said he really got to learn and know these guys and love them, as he quoted and as he stated. So I think it's great that he's doing that. Wish him all the best. And I know he's going to do just as great job in that line of work as he's done for the Denver Broncos in these last two games. Love it. Hey, Kamani. Nice to see you, Kamani. Yeah, two thumbs up for Jerry. Absolutely. I don't know. I'm not in the neighborhood today. So even though in the neighborhood I'm nicknamed by Kamani as Hitman Build. So if you guys want to know what that's all about, watch the neighborhood. In fact, this coming Sunday, and I'll touch a little bit on that in a little bit later. But nice to see you in the house, Kamani, always. All right. I'm going to get a little bit rattled up at this one. This one irritates me to no end. And yeah, I'm frustrated about this because this is an absolute snub, not only to Justin Simmons, but to the Broncos in general. And the reason why I say Broncos in general is because of the person they are not putting on the first team in the Pro Bowl. And sure, I know the Pro Bowl is only, it's not like it used to be where it's an actual game and this and that. It's still an honor to be selected to the Pro Bowl, but especially the first team. And here it is. Justin Simmons has been the best safety in the AFC this past season. However, not according to the Pro Bowl voting. What? Justin Simmons was not selected to the first team, but rather the second team. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Seriously? Justin Simmons is not on the first team? Why not? Patrick Surtain is as a corner. Patrick Surtain was selected on the first team corner, and absolutely rightfully so. He's a shutdown corner. Justin Simmons is one of the top, if not the top safety in the entire AFC. I'll tell you who they selected instead of Justin Simmons. And you guys comment in the comment line. Tell me if you think the person I'm going to mention that is now the first string safety over Justin Simmons deserves it more than Simmons. I continue. The first safety, here it is. The first string safety is Minkah Fitzpatrick of the Steelers. Who? Come on, man. You have got to be kidding me. Seriously? Pittsburgh? No. I'll give you some of Justin Simmons' stats from this past season. Simmons had 6 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, including one in the Broncos win over the Chargers that stopped a possible scoring drive, and 34 solo tackles. How is that the NFL continues to snub Broncos players? How's it possible? Why? Justin Simmons had 6 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, including one where the Chargers were very, very close to going in for a touchdown. He knocked the ball out, recovered by the Broncos. And, of course, the end result was the Broncos get the win. Now, how is it possible that the NFL continues to snub the Broncos? They continue to snub them for the Hall of Fame. They continue to snub them when it comes to players like this being honored. Yes, I know Jerry Jeudy got AFC Player of the Week, and that's tremendous. But why is Justin Simmons on the second string? Behind, who did I say behind? I can't remember the guy's name. Behind Minka Fitzpatrick? Seriously. Oh, I know. It's because Pittsburgh's on the East Coast and more voters and people who vote watch more East Coast games. I don't give a crap. I don't care. If they're professionals, they're supposed to watch every single game and every single player. And Justin Simmons deserves first string, not second. Absolutely not second. It's absolutely a disgrace to have Justin Simmons snubbed like that. Absolutely. I don't care if it's a flag football. I don't care if they sit there and play checkers. It doesn't matter. What matters is he got snubbed and put down to the second string instead of the first. And in my opinion, the NFL does not look to any of the Bronco players or even the team as well as they should. I don't care if the Broncos won 5 games. How many did Pittsburgh win? They're not in the playoffs. So why just because they had a better record? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Or all the Steelers in the playoffs. I don't remember, and I don't really care because I don't want them to win anyways. But it just bothers me that Justin Simmons gets kicked to the curb as well as many other Bronco players just because, in my opinion, the NFL has a bias against the Broncos and Bronco players. Just my opinion, guys. Just my opinion. You can chime in and give me your opinion. I'll comment on it. I'll bring it up. It's just my opinion. But it seems to happen year after year after year. Look at the game against Kansas City. And I said I'm not going to go back and rehash all that. But it continues year after year, game after game, and I'm tired of it. This Bronco fan right here is tired of it. Needs to change. Let's get some respect. Come on, NFL. Let's get some respect. We deserve it when we have great players like Justin Simmons. All right. Okay, I totally agree. Kamani, I totally agree with you. And thanks for putting it in capital letters because that means you're as angry as I am. You know the league doesn't like the Broncos. Absolutely they don't. I don't know why. Pat Bowlen, and I know he's not alive anymore, and I know he's not, that it's not in the Bowlen family anymore. But, it goes back to, Pat Bowlen was a great owner. He did a lot of things for the NFL. Why in heaven's name are they snubbing the Broncos? I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. Bubba Gonzalez, always good to see you too. Thanks so much for being in the house. Appreciate it very, very much. Absolutely. Let's go back to Kamani. The ref had a meeting with the NFL to screw us off the field too. No kidding. You know what? I know it's probably tongue-in-cheek that you're saying that, but there may be a little bit of truth to that because, I know that Patrick Surtain is on the first-string corner. And that's, like I said earlier, that's all well and good, and I love it. Glad he's on there. He deserves it immensely. But so does Justin Simmons. And that is an absolute travesty not to have Justin Simmons on the first team. It is. It's absolutely preposterous. It's just mind-boggling how somebody can be that good, that freaking good, and the NFL goes, no, I don't think so. Okay. All right. Let's see. Avatar said Simmons even played less. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that. Justin Simmons only played in, 12 games? 12 out of 17. Yeah, he missed 5. He only played in 12 games. And Minka played in 6 or 17. How is that possible? How is it possible to play less games? Excuse me, guys. I'm getting all worked up, as you can tell. How is it possible that Justin Simmons can play in less games, have those stats, and not be first string? I don't get it. I don't get it. I can understand if he played in 17 games and had less stats than Minka. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. I mean, that would be like saying, go back. That'd be like saying that Terrell Davis doesn't deserve the MVP of Super Bowl 32 because he missed the entire third quarter with migraine headache. Yeah, he rushed for 175 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns, albeit from 1 yard, but who cares? It's 3 touchdowns. He was MVP. Why? Because he was the best. Just like Justin Simmons was the best in fewer games. Great, great point, Avatar. Thanks so much for bringing that up. Sorry, guys. I get this tickle in my throat. I hope I can continue. Okay. Avatar, don't blow my thunder, man. Mika played 15 games. Don't blow my thunder. Anyways, it's 3 more. Excuse me, guys. It's 3 more than Simmons, that's for sure. But it's still more than what Justin Simmons played. So sorry, guys. I appreciate that though. But still, Justin Simmons played in more games, and that's what counts. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on because I don't know why I get this tickle in my throat. I want to get through this whole show because it's it's powerful. Sorry, guys. I hope you bear with me. I don't know where I get this tickle from every now and then, but usually happens when I get wound up. All right. Dalton Risner. Dalton Risner's rookie contract has expired, and there hasn't been talks to give him a new one. Risner is a native of Colorado and wants to stay as a Denver Bronco. Dalton realizes that the NFL is a cutthroat. Excuse me. Speaking of throat, I'm going to have to hit the mute button. Hang on, guys. Okay. Bear with me. All right. Dalton realized that the NFL is a cutthroat business, and it's best to be ready and willing to accept that nothing is forever. Oh, boy. I don't want to lose Dalton Risner. I don't. He's been a mainstay. He loves Colorado. But he understands it's a cutthroat business. But he said many, many times, if the Denver Broncos want me, I want to be here. This is my home. This is my team. This is a team that I cheered for when I was younger, when I was growing up. This is a team I've always wanted to play for. And now he has. But has it come to an end? I don't know. I don't know if that is the general manager's call. I don't know if it's George Payton's call. Or I don't know if it's going to be the new head coach's decision. I don't know. I would imagine that Payton has to have some type of say, obviously. But I really want Dalton Risner back. He's great in the locker room. He's great with his teammates. He plays his heart out. Sure, he makes mistakes. Everybody does. But the bottom line is, if the guy's heart and soul is in Denver and with the Broncos, why not at least sign him for another year or even 2? Let him work under new coaching staff. Maybe, obviously, he'll be better, most likely. Let him stay in Denver. I don't know what his asking price is. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I sure don't want Risner gone. I really don't. I don't want any Bronco gone. Well, except Melvin Gordon, when obviously he couldn't hang on the ball. But I'm talking about a productive player. And Dalton Risner has been that. Great locker room guy, great team player, and great with the media and the public. And I want him to stay in Denver. Don't want him wearing any other colors than orange and blue. And I'm not talking about the Chicago Bears either. I'm talking about the Denver Broncos. All right. Thanks a lot, sis. My sister chimes in and says, get a throat lozenge. I wish I would. I don't have any near me. I don't even have any handy. But I'll make it through. I'll do my best. If you guys can bear with me, then I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's see. I agree with you, Kamani. Yeah, Risner is great. We need to keep him. Absolutely need to keep him. Otherwise, what are we going to start over? Let's at least keep a core player, please. At least somebody we have that wants to be on the Broncos. Absolutely, 100% wants to be on the Broncos. Ray says, I have no problem them moving on. Oh, boy. Okay. You have no problem with them moving on for Reisner. He's been okay. I grew up 30 minutes from Wiggins, so I love the Colorado native story. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you, Ray. So you have no problem moving on from Reisner. Is that because you think he's just okay? Or do you think that the Broncos really want to go in a completely different direction and he may not fit in with where the Broncos want to go? I don't know. Either one of them could be a possibility. I'm not sure. But I just know that when somebody's heart and soul is with the team, they're going to give it more than just a token effort. They're going to give it everything they have. And I'm not saying that other NFL players don't do that. Some try harder than others. And I think that that's what Reisner is saying, is that he wants to try harder and he wants to be the best he can be. And he wants to stay in Denver. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Absolutely don't know. Hey, thanks for the shout out to my sister. Come on, I appreciate it. How about your sister, the Hitman Bill? See my sister, you, my big brother. All right. Thanks a lot. Come on, I appreciate it. All right. This is interesting. This is extremely interesting because I didn't look at this side of a possibility, but here it is. Ejiro Evero. With many head coaching jobs open for hire in 2023, one person may switch teams and stay as defensive coordinator. What? Switch teams as defensive coordinator? Even though Evero is being sought after as a possible first-time head coach with interviews with the Houston Texans as well as his team, the Denver Broncos. According to Vikings insiders, if the Vikings move on from Ed Donatel, their defensive coordinator, they could replace him with Evero. Oh, my goodness. No, we can't lose Evero. But if a new head coach comes in, they may bring in their own defensive coordinator. Then where's Evero going to go? Well, according to Vikings insiders, possibility he could go to the Vikings. And the reason why is this. If Evero doesn't get hired as head coach somewhere, let me grab the continue part of this. Both Vikings head coach O'Connell and Evero were part of the Rams Super Bowl championship team. Remember, the Vikings general manager is Kawasi Adolfo Mensa, who was working in the 49ers front office as well. There's the connection, guys. You got O'Connell's the head coach of the Vikings, came from the Rams, excuse me. Evero came from the Rams and went to Denver. If Evero doesn't get a head coaching job somewhere, he could be snatched up by the Minnesota Vikings. That means that the Vikings would have O'Connell from the Rams, Evero from the Rams, and their general manager from the 49ers. Wow. Can you imagine that Vikings team with that offense, the way it is today or this year, with Evero as their defensive coordinator? Woo, mercy. Talk about a powerhouse team. Yeah. Do I want Evero to leave? No. I want him to stay as a defensive coordinator. But whenever you have a new head coach come in, they always bring in their own guys. Absolutely bring in their own guys. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is if that's out there by the Vikings insiders, somebody's talking to somebody. And I'm not really liking this at all. Not at all. Do you realize, guys, that we could have, obviously we're going to have a brand new coaching staff all over again. But wow, to lose an Evero with the defense that we had this year, I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. I never saw that coming. Absolutely never saw that coming. I figured if he didn't get a head coaching job, he'd stay with Denver. And he very well may. He very well may. But if the Vikings are looking to upgrade their defense and they got their eye on Evero, that sends shockwaves and alarming signals to this guy being a huge Bronco fan. I don't want to see that at all. Absolutely don't want to see it at all. All right. Let's see. I agree with you, Kamani. Absolutely agree with you 100%. That would be dangerous. Yeah, dangerous for the Vikings would be a dangerous team for sure, but also dangerous from the standpoint that now we wouldn't have our defensive coordinator that did such a tremendous job this year with banged up defense. Yeah, it'd be dangerous on both ends of the scale for sure. Vikings would be dangerous. And oh, by the way, guys, we play the Vikings next year. It's already on the schedule. Don't know what date. Don't know. We do know it's in Denver. So it will be a Broncos home game. I'd love to go to that game. I'm thinking about doing that. I really am. But think about it. If Evero is on the Vikings defense as a coordinator playing the Broncos in Denver, oh boy. Oh boy. I don't. Oh no. I don't even want to see that. Absolutely do not want to see that. Nope. Ray says, I almost missed you there, Ray. Where are you at? There you go. Ray says, oh, wait a minute. That's not, hang on. Sorry, Ray. Let me go back to you. Bring back the purple people ears. You know, I remember that. That was back in the 70s. Absolutely in the 70s. Purple people eaters with Carl, Alan Page, Carl Eller. Those two stand out big time. You had Fran Tarkenton. I know he's not on the defense, but you had a lot of great guys. A lot of great guys on that team for sure. Absolutely. Let's see. Did the Viking defense coach used to be our defensive coach? Who did I say that was? That was what did I say it was? That was I'm sorry, I misplaced it. If they want to move on from Ed Donatel, you know, that name sounds familiar. Ed Donatel. You know, he may have. I'm sorry, I don't recall it offhand, but he may have. If anybody in the chat room, I know Avatar is really good at pulling up the past stats and names and stuff like that. So if Avatar, if you know that, or anybody else out there knows that, if Ed Donatel was on the Broncos at some point in time, please say so in the chat and I'll bring it up for sure. But obviously he wasn't that good in Minnesota. In fact, the Vikings defense was ranked 18th, I believe, on defense, and the Broncos were in the top 5. So I don't want to see Evero go at all. Now, if he does leave, obviously it'd be for head coach, in my opinion. And I would certainly hope that he stays in Denver. We'll find out, guys. And now I'll keep you posted whenever I find any information on that. All right. Okay. Let's go to this. Now, this is what I love about the ownership of the Broncos now. They do not spare any I guess I shouldn't say they don't spare any money, but they're in the Broncos ownership and they're all in. All hands on deck, all feet in, whatever the saying may be. Here it is. New Mile High Turf. Before the Chargers-Broncos game last Sunday, CEO Greg Penner was bothered by the middle of the field being beaten down by extreme weather, as well as some high school championship games. So, at the cost of over $400,000, that turf was replaced right down the middle, even if it was just for the last game of the season. Now, you talk about putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak. He did not like the way the turf looked. It looked beat up. I saw a picture of it before they tore it all up and put in new turf. I mean, it looked like a dirt pile. It really did. It was beaten down. And at the cost of $400,000, they tore it out, put in new turf, and it looked great for Sunday's game. And think about it, guys. It's right down the middle. So they had to totally redo the Bronco logo in the middle of the field. Because obviously with the new turf, they had to tear it out and put in the new one. That's what I like about this ownership. They are willing to put out a product that looks great on television. Now they're in control of a new head coach and new hirings throughout the entire coaching staff. And I'm going to firmly believe this team is going to be much, much better next year. This ownership did not spend $4.25 billion to have a team win 5 games in a season. They didn't do it for that reason. Absolutely not. Do you think Rob Walton would let Walmart just fall apart? Heck no, he wouldn't. Why would he do it for the Denver Broncos? He's not. In fact, they're also in the process right now, this very day that I speak, that's because the season's over, they are putting in over, what is it, 100, what is it, 100, no, not 100 million. Is it 100 million? I don't know, something like that, to renovate Mile High Stadium. And I talked about this in several shows ago. They are going to have a larger scoreboard in the south stands, above the south stands, 35 feet higher than the one that's there now. Holy smokes. That's impressive. You know, more concession stands, more elevators or escalators, better, more improved suites, all of these things. They're upgrading. Why? Because they want to put the product out there. They want the best of the best. And they've got the resources to do it. And I love it. I love the fact that Greg Penner didn't just sit there and go, that's the last game of the season. Yeah, no, we're not on national TV. It's only going to be local. And then it's only going to be, broadcast for the Chargers in LA area. And it's only going to be in the Denver greater area. Who cares if the turf looks bad? Nope. Not Greg Penner. Not Greg Penner and not the ownership of the Denver Broncos. Love it. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Go back to this one. So Ray says Ed Donato was a defensive coordinator for Denver in 19 to 21. Is that what you wanted? Wow. You know what? That name did sound familiar, Ray. It absolutely did. I just couldn't pinpoint whether or not he was actually the defensive coordinator or some other position. Great, Ray. Thanks for bringing that up, Ray. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay. Yes, you did hear correctly, Ray. Absolutely heard correctly. Okay. Let's go to linebacker Alex Singleton. This one, I love this kid. Absolutely love this kid. He plays with heart. He plays with emotion. He plays with passion. He plays with energy. And we got him off the practice squad, and we only signed him for the remainder of the year. That's what's bothering me. Alex Singleton has been a huge bright spot for the Broncos at linebacker. He played in 16 games and racked up 152 combined tackles, with 93 of them being solo. However, he was only signed for this past season, and nothing has been discussed as to his Broncos future. Come on, guys, do the right thing. I know we're loaded at linebacker, but come on. I mean, this guy played his heart out. He was amazing. He was everywhere. He was covering receivers. He was covering running backs. He was stuffing runs up the middle. This guy was a force, and a force to be reckoned with. If the Broncos let this guy go, and he goes to another team and tears it up, I'm gonna be one pissed off guy, because I want this guy to stay. I've said it many, many times. I don't want any Broncos player leaving. I don't. This is my team. These are my guys. I don't want them gone. I don't want them going to another team and doing great. Just like Von Miller. He went to the Rams last year. Boom. Super Bowl. Championship. Now he's in Buffalo. Guess what? Buffalo Bills are back in the playoffs. Yep. That's right. Von Miller's on the Buffalo Bills. Sure, he's unable to play because he's injured, and that's a shame, but he's still on the team. So I don't want any guys leaving. I never like it. Never, ever like it. And I don't want Alex Singleton to go on either. Come on, Peyton. Do the right thing. Sign him. Sign him to 2 or 3 year contract. Get it done. Don't let Singleton walk. Whatever you do, don't let him walk. We need him. We need him because the way our linebackers get hurt. Absolutely, Kamani. Totally agree. That's what I'm saying. I know we're loaded at linebacker, but with these injuries, you got to have somebody like Singleton to step in. And that's exactly what he did this year. He stepped in for injured players, and he played lights out. This guy was absolutely instrumental in so many ways. And I don't want to see this guy gone. Absolutely do not want to see him gone. If I see him on another team and we play him and he blows up our running game or shuts down our screen passes or whatever, yeah, I'll have a lot to say about that if that ever happens. Absolutely. Ray says the same thing. Ray says, I want him back too. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's get a petition started and send it to George Payton and say, we want Singleton. Keep Singleton in the house. All right. Okay. Now, here's that. Earlier, I said, if you guys caught it earlier, I said that I haven't done something in several weeks, and I brought it back for this very show only because it happened this past Sunday. And here it is. That's right, guys. The jackass of the week. And this is absolutely beyond mind-boggling. Absolutely beyond mind-boggling. And here it is. Quay Walker was ejected last Sunday between the Lions and the Packers. Running back Swift of the Lions was injured, and when a member of the Lions medical staff came out to check on Swift, Quay Walker of the Packers pushed the medical staff person to the ground. Are you freaking kidding me? In the wake of what happened to Damani, are you serious? You're going to push down a medical staff person. Why? What in heaven's name got into you to do that? Oh my gosh. I mean, considering what happened to Damani Hinton, I mean, it's preposterous to think that anybody, if anything, you get out of the way and assist him to get to whoever's injured. Now, sure, Swift was awake and conscious and sitting down. It was a leg injury, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because of the wake of what happened to Damani. You cannot do that. How in heaven's name does somebody in the right mind even think of pushing down a medical personnel to the ground? Not just a gently shove. No, he shoved him. Go look at the video. He shoves him. He was the Packers were assessed a 15-yard penalty, and Walker was kicked out of the game. Even his coach goes, use your head. Use your head. No kidding. Holy smokes. I hope he gets fined by the NFL. I absolutely do. That was unexcusable. You cannot do that. And like I said, in the wake of the situation less than 2 weeks ago, that something like this happens, I don't get it. I absolutely do not understand. Do not understand why. Now, okay, maybe if he pushes a player, I mean, that's bad enough. But to push a medical staff personnel that is going out there to assist an injured person in the wake of what happened to Damani just less than 2 weeks ago is absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. And if the NFL doesn't come down heavy on a fine for this and doesn't suspend him, then there's something wrong with the NFL, because this cannot be allowed to happen, period. You can't touch or push a referee. Why in heaven's name can you touch and push a medical staff personnel, especially pushing them to the ground? Congratulations, Quay Walker. You are this week's jackass of the week. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right. Let's go to Sean Payton. According to the Washington Post, according to Washington Post, Mark Mask, the Denver Broncos appear to be the front runner to get head coach Sean Payton, at least in the early stages. Now, we've all known that, guys. We've all known that Sean Payton and the Broncos have talked, or going to talk, I should say, on the 17th, and that there's been an agreement of sorts as to what the compensation to the Saints would be. So we all know that. We also know that Harbaugh's in the mix, Evero's in the mix, and there's others as well. But Sean Payton seems to be the front runner on the Broncos coaching staff for obviously upcoming year. Payton said, that is Sean Payton. Sean Payton said he likes the stable ownership and would be happy to work with quarterback Wilson. Okay, here's the problem. Sean Payton walked out on the Saints. Is that something that we have to keep in the back of our head going, oh, wait a minute. If things don't go too well, is he just going to walk away? Then what? Can we trust Sean Payton? Is Sean Payton a winner? Well, they did win a Super Bowl in New Orleans. But is he a good fit for Russell Wilson? I don't know. I don't know. Absolutely don't. But bigger than that is he going to be reliable? Is he going to stick with the Denver Broncos? Now, he says he likes the stable ownership. Well, hey, Peyton, are you going to be stable? Are you going to bail out because, well, things aren't going too well, and maybe I'll go back to the TV gig. That's kind of, that's kind of cool. It's kind of easy. Or is he serious? And again, is it going to be a good fit for Russell Wilson? Because that's the key, guys. You have to let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. We've already mentioned this. We've hashed this over many, many times. At least I know I have on my show. You can't keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. You have to let him do what he does best. And that is roll out, bootleg, throw on the run like he did the game last week on a 54-yard bomb, completion, perfect throw. And you got to allow him to do that. Is Sean Payton a fit for Russell Wilson? That's my question, guys. Is Sean Payton a good fit for Russell Wilson? Also, I've heard that if Sean Payton becomes head coach on any team, he wants Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. Now, Fangio is a great defensive coordinator. I just don't know if Fangio is going to want to come back to the Broncos as defensive coordinator because he got cut and fired by the Broncos as their head coach. So is he going to want to come back and basically be demoted? I don't know. But I also don't want to lose Evero. So I got mixed emotions. Do I want Sean Payton? Well, I mean, he's a winner, but so is Harbaugh, and I don't want him. So I don't know who at this point in time I want. I really don't. I just want somebody that can get along with Russell Wilson, can make this team back into the team that Broncos country and myself wants. And that is a championship team, a playoff contending team year after year after year. That's what I want. And I'm not sure that Sean Payton is that guy. That's all I'm saying. Ray says, I don't want him. Well, there you go, Ray. I don't either. For the very reason I stated. I don't know if I can trust the guy. I just don't know if I can trust him to be committed to the Broncos and to work with Russell Wilson. And I mean, he says, I'd be excited to work with Russell Wilson. Yeah, in what capacity? Your way or the highway? Or to allow Wilson to be Wilson? That's the thing you're not saying, Sean. You're saying, oh, yeah, I welcome the opportunity to work with Russell Wilson. I know. But there's a lot to be said reading between the lines that you didn't say. And that bothers me. Absolutely bothers me. Okay, now, Ray brought up a good point. I'm actually thinking Jim Caldwell could be good for us. Okay, that was brought up to me earlier in the week about Jim Caldwell. And my thought was, okay, what has he done lately? Well, I mean, he's taken numerous quarterbacks and made them into really, really good quarterbacks. Now, Russell Wilson's not a really, really good quarterback. He's a great quarterback when he's allowed to be Russell Wilson. So, yeah, I agree, Ray. Jim Caldwell could be the answer. But who's he going to bring in as his offensive coordinator? Or who's he want as a defensive coordinator? See, those are things obviously we don't know because we don't have a head coach yet. But I think that's a really, really good point. I'd rather have Jim Caldwell seriously than Harbaugh any day. I almost said I'd take anybody over Harbaugh, but That's a lie, because I wouldn't take anybody over Caldwell. I wouldn't take Hackett back. I wouldn't take Fangio back. I wouldn't take some of these other guys. So yeah. Well, Kamani says I didn't think the players. I thought the players didn't like Vic. I don't know. Are you talking about defense or head coach? I'm assuming you're talking defense. And if so, that's a great possibility. Absolutely, because Vic Fangio was hard. He was strict. He was hard. He ran him in the ground. And I do remember that, Kamani. You're absolutely right. That the players were saying that they did not like the way he ran the defense in practice. They didn't like the way he basically, forced them to continue, hard practices and whatnot. And it basically broke them down. So I would agree with you. And I don't want Vic Fangio back as defensive coordinator. I really don't. We've already gone down that road. I don't want him. I want to stay with Evero. That's who I want to stick and stay with the Denver Broncos as defensive coordinator is Evero. And that bothers me that if they're thinking about having Sean Payton and Payton comes along with Vic Fangio, nope. Not liking that one bit at all. Not one bit. Kamani also says, I don't want Payton or Quinn. I never was a fan of Quinn. Okay. So, Kamani, I go back to what you're saying. Who do you want then? Ray says he would like to have Jim Caldwell. Who would you like, Kamani? If you don't want Payton, Sean Payton, you don't want Dan Quinn, who would you like to see as a Broncos next head coach? I'll throw that out to anybody. Anybody out there, anybody that wants to respond. Who would you guys like to see as a Broncos next head coach? I know who I'd like to see, not coming out of retirement, that's for sure. And that would be Mike Shanahan or Gary Kubiak, but that's not going to happen. So to be realistic, I would like to see a Jim Caldwell. I just don't. Again, it to me, it all hinges on who's the best fit for Russell Wilson. Plain and simple. That to me is the absolute question right there. Who is the best fit for Russell Wilson? Period. All right. Okay. Now I did say that before I go into the last. Actually, let me go into that, and then I'll talk about the what's coming up in some of the shows. All right. The last topic for this show, Allegiant Stadium. This is interesting because the Raiders wanted to move from Oakland to Vegas because drawing the Vegas crowd and a new stadium and all the fanfare that Vegas brings. Yeah. It may have turned a little sour, according to owner Mark Davis. Here it is. With the Las Vegas Raiders season on a down note, visiting fans are flocking to Vegas to have a home game away from home. Sounds kind of like the Chargers when they were in San Diego and Carson, and even LA for that matter. Last week, it was estimated that about 75% of the fans were wearing San Francisco 49ers gear. Whoa, 75% estimated? Yeah, I saw some of it. It was loud. When the 49ers did anything, it was loud. And it was very, very noticeable. Mark Davis, the Raiders owner, was pissed last year when Chiefs and Bears brought so many fans to town. Now that the Raiders have become relatively gentle opponents on the schedule, what destination is more accommodating to watch your favorite team than Win City? And not Sin City, but Win City. Holy smokes. Man, can you imagine? Mark Davis pays all of this money for a brand new state-of-the-art stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Of course, what in heaven's name was he thinking? People from across the country swarmed to go to Vegas even before there was a football team there. Why? Because it's Vegas. It's gambling. It's the nightlife. It's fanfare. It's who you might see. A celebrity, an athlete who's who goes to Vegas all the time. And so do out of town fans, 49er fans, Chief fans, Bears fans. Why would you not go to Vegas if you live in Chicago and it's cold? You go to Vegas and it's not cold. It's warm. And sure, even in wintertime, it gets a little chilly at night. I don't live there, but I've been there at night, and it's a little chilly, but it's bearable. It's not like Chicago. It's not like Buffalo. It's not like Green Bay. It's not like Denver. Although Denver's not bad. I'd take Denver over Vegas any day, but because I just love Colorado. But in any case, you can see where this is going. That was obvious that was going to happen. Now, of course, if the Raiders start winning again and they start producing, maybe playoff runs or something like that, then of course it's going to pick back up in favor of the Raiders because they're fair weather fans, but just like some other teams that I'm not going to mention. But that would be obvious. So is he upset? Of course he's upset. But hey, Mark, doesn't matter who they cheer for, buddy. It's still sold out, and you're still making money hand over fist. So why are you crying? Don't be upset. You're still making money. Sure, you like to have, Raider fans there, no doubt. But if you're in Vegas and it's an attraction and a favorite team of some other city is bringing fans in, shut up. You're making money. It doesn't matter. I know people could say that about the Broncos too. I don't like to see visiting fans come to Denver because it's Denver. It's my team. I don't care about the Raiders. Just saying, just pointing it out. Doesn't matter to me. But I just found that very interesting that 75% estimated were 49er fans. Well, I mean, think about it. They're both from the Bay Area. So they had rivalries when they were Oakland and San Francisco. So I guess that's to be expected. But I just found that really, really interesting. Kamani, absolutely 100% right. Chargers. And I'm assuming you mean they don't sell out either, and they have away games, or I should say home games for away teams. Absolutely. I was in Carson with my sister in 2019, and I swear, dude, to everybody out there, it must have been at least 60-40, maybe even 70-30 Broncos fans. It was a sea of orange, and it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I know my sister wouldn't agree, but I loved it. It was great. Anyways, that's I'm going to end on that. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button, the like button, and absolutely appreciate every single one of you that was in the chat today. Thanks for your comments, for your bearing with me when I was going through that coughing spell and all that. Thanks, guys, for hanging in there and showing me support. Really, really appreciate it. All right, guys, before I get out of here, let me remind you, and I have to bring up a brand new show that is going to take place on the MHRT network. And here it is. Sports Nonsense and Whiskey Podcast is now part of the MHRT network. And starting January 24th, a Tuesday, they will be going live every Tuesday right after the 5280 show. It's not going to replace the 5280 show, guys. It's a brand new show, and it's going to be right after the 5280 show every Tuesday. And they are Bronco fans, but they are going to talk about all sports in general. So if you want to hear about basketball, football, hockey, baseball, whatever they talk about, feel free, guys, to jump in, check it out. These guys are good. They're very knowledgeable, and I think everybody out there that has an interest in other sports as well as the Broncos, as well as football, is going to really, really enjoy that. So check that out. Once again, it's Sports Nonsense and Whiskey Podcast. Every Tuesday, beginning January 24th, right after the 5280 show every Tuesday. All right, guys, other shows, other than that, this coming tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to be the Avalanche Neighborhood with Madungus Creevy and myself. The Avalanche game starts at 4:00 Pacific time. We're going to do the Avalanche Neighborhood tomorrow. Then on Sunday, the Broncos aren't playing, but we've decided to do a neighborhood, a playoff. We're calling it the playoff neighborhood. The Vikings against the Giants in Minnesota. We are doing that neighborhood. We're going to be talking about that game and those plays and the other playoff games as well. So tune in for that. That is 1:30 on Sunday. And that is the playoff neighborhood. And then on Monday, we have the Cluster Puck. That goes live every Monday. You know the times 5, 6, 7, and 5, 6, 7, 8. Tuesday, again, it's a 5280 podcast. 5, 6, 7, and 8 goes live, followed by the Sports Nonsense and Whiskey podcast. Also on Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the 24th, starting the 24th. And then on Wednesday, we have the Wild Wild West. That features a fan from every AFC West team: Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That's live every 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30 on Wednesday. And then on Friday, this show, again, Broncos Breakdown, live every Friday, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I will be live, and I'll bring you all the updates that I can, Broncos news, as well as other topics and other news as well. Thanks, guys, for chiming in. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Give shout out to Avatar, to Ray, to Kamani, to Bubba Gonzalez, and to my sister Shoy. Appreciate it, Shoy, being in the house. Appreciate it so much. Thanks. And to all you guys for all your comments and for all your topics. I really, really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. Always look forward to seeing you in the chat and for all your support. Thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, a wonderful weekend. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Avalanche neighborhood, as well as Sunday on the playoff neighborhood. Till then, guys, take care, and we will talk to you then. Bye-bye.